Hello all, welcome to session number 2. Today we'll understand the opening principle, opening basic, what to play with the white and what to play with the black. Initially, we need to understand the three openings. Like one opening, we need to understand from the white side whether we can play the E4, D4 or C4. And obviously from the black side, we have to learn the at least two openings. The first principle is control the center. As we discussed in the last session, this is the center. E4, E5, D4, and the D5. So these are the center, and we'll start with the London system. It's the easiest opening in all, I feel. So D4. Now we are controlling the center of the E5. Black have multiple options to reply here. Black can play NF6, black can play D5. In fact, black can play E6 also. Black can play with the G6 also. The most natural reply for the London system is D4 on D5. Now, when you play any opening, there are 7 to 8 basic principles you need to study. That first, develop your minor pieces. The minor pieces, this is the knight and the bishop are the minor pieces. Now, in this game also, first we'll develop the minor pieces, and here we'll develop the bishop. In the most of the opening, we normally develop the knight first. But here in the London system, we are going to develop the bishop. So bishop f4, black can play e6, and then we have to create a pawn chain. So here we'll play the e3. Black can play bishop e7, c5, knight f6. These three moves are mostly popular. So let's see, black played nf6, and then we'll play the c3. Now remember, you have to create this pawn chain in the London system. So first, bring the bishop out of this pawn chain, and then create a one solid pawn chain here for the white side. So this king is much safer than any other opening. Now black can also play the similar opening. Like black can play the c6, and this is pretty much a semi-Slav style, like playing e6 and c6 and d5, and the pawn having a very solid pawn structure. Similarly, white is also having the very solid pawn structure. The only benefit for the white is have already developed his bishop out of the pawn chain, where black has unable to develop his bishop out of the pawn chain. Now the next move will develop the knight. Of course, develop the minor pieces first. Rule number 2. So rule number 1 is control the center. Rule number 2 is develop your minor pieces. So nf3, black will do for nd7, and now you'll go for bishop to d3. It's a very important move that bishop should be in this d3 diagonal. So this is b and h diagonal. This is the best diagonal for this bishop. Having long range, you can use this bishop for the long range tactics. So bishop d3, bishop e7, and we'll go for nd2. Now knight d2 is a very important move in this game. I'll show you why. Because once black go for the castle, it's up to white. White can go for queen c2, queen e2, and plan for the long castle. Or if white wants, white can go for the short castle. Here, if you want to go for the short castle, you can immediately go for the short castle. If you want to go for the long castle, you can just play queen e2, b6, and you can just go for the long castle. This is the basic opening. This is called a London system. Okay, we'll study in depth this London system also. Now this is the opening you have to study from the white side in short. Now what to play with the black? The most of the 90% player play the e4, and I have already some videos on the Sicilian dragon, and this is the most dynamic and the sharp line in the Sicilian. So we'll play the c5 here. Again, we are playing the c pawn, but we are still controlling the center. What does it mean, the controlling the center? It means any of these minor or the major pieces cannot come on this square. This is called controlling the square. We'll play the c5. The basic principle, develop the knight first, d6, and white will play the d4. Now the question is why we are playing the d6 here. The answer is very simple. We want to play knight f6, but this pawn can get pushed. We don't want to allow our opponent to push this pawn, so that's why we play the d6 first. d4 opens Sicily and neutralize the center pressure. Pawn takes point. Whenever in the basic level, whenever if you get the pawn, center pawn, just capture it. Knight takes d4. Of course, he can go for queen takes, but he will get a tempo of the knight c6. To avoid, do not open your piece, major piece in the opening. So knight cross d4, and f6, attacking the pawn and developing the piece also, and knight c3 to develop the pawn, develop the piece, and again defend the pawn also. Then we can play knight c6, but there is an option the bishop can pin our knight, so we'll go for the g6. White can actually develop his bishop to e3. Now, why not to bishop to f4? Of course, if you play the f4, it's a big blunder because the black can play e5, and it is a fork. It's losing our piece here. So the best move here after g6, the white can play bishop e3. Black will develop his natural development bishop to g7. That's why it's called a dragon. And now here, there is one possible move for the black is knight to g4. Now in the chess, knight is slightly better piece as compared to the bishop. So if you get in middle game, knight against bishop, you should trade that. But my question is, will you go for knight g4? Pause this video for 2 minutes and think about what happened if you play knight g4. Now there's the first rule of the chess is control the center, develop your knight, develop your bishop, castle. Okay, and there is one more important rule is do not play same piece twice in the opening. I repeat, do not play same piece twice in the opening. Now in this position, if you play knight g4, find out the tactical blow from the white here. It's black is losing a piece here because he just played same piece twice here. Pause and find out the best move for the white. Now here, if you play knight g4, you're breaking the rule. You're playing same piece twice. White is having a good move, bishop to just b5. Now the problem with this, if you play knight c6, it's a big blunder again. You're losing a piece because knight takes knight, pawn takes, bishop takes, and it's a fork. You're losing the rook. If you play knight d7, it's queen takes g4 is coming because now you just broke the supply or broke the support from this knight. Of course, you cannot play the queen here, so there is only one option is available, bishop d7. And now here is queen takes knight is the next move. Because now this bishop is pinned. This bishop cannot capture this, our bishop, black bishop cannot capture bishop takes bishop. It's not a logical move because there is no impact, no benefit from this bishop exchange. Of course, this bishop cannot take this queen because this bishop is pinned, and we are losing a piece here. There are no other move that save black from being a piece down. So the best thing is that do not play same piece twice. Do not go for knight g4. Just play the bishop g7. White may push f3 because now you can play knight g4. Now just take an example. If in this move, if white play queen d2, this you can still play bishop knight to here, and now this is not a logical move because this queen cannot capture the knight. That is one thing. Now if you play a move like after if you play rook c8, rook c1, if you play knight here g4, this will not work because now we have a space to play king f8. So that's why to avoid this knight g4, white will push after bishop g7, white will push the f3. Yeah, there is one good move also. He can play bishop to c4 also. This is also one line available. And if you play bishop c4, we'll just castle, white castle, and then we can put knight g4. If you want, white wants to go for the long castle, he'll just play the f3. We'll go for the castle, queen d2, knight c6. He will develop his bishop on the c4. It's a good diagonal. And white just will go for, yes, we'll go bishop d7. White will just go for the long castle. This is called Yugoslav attack. Again, the Sicilian dragon, Yugoslav attack played by the white here. And we have covered the two opening and the basic principle in this video. Thank you.